Hello, this one. Then I go listen to the sound on the basketball game and take a nap. I'm tired. My body's just really, oof. I got the stuff from the state office. I'll probably just go in on Monday and set up an appointment thing, get this too taken care of. I don't know if I want to. I told the girls about it. I don't know if I want to go down the rabbit hole of food stamps and monetary assistance and go to the doctor and find out that my body's really chemically abused. My toxology reports are off the charts to get money to save up to try to get a trailer to go to a KOA somewhere or something like that. I'm not that type of person. I don't think like the military. I don't have contingency plans. If they force that rabbit hole, that's their hell, not mine. I'm not the type of person looking for monetary-based solutions. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. I'm not hunting and killing murderers. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. I'm like Jesus Christ. And David was like that too. Solomon was like that too. Samson was like that too. It's just the conditions were very different. And I'm in conditions where they have satellites over every major metropolis in the world. And everybody has a cell phone, and there's a cell phone tower every 2 miles in every metroplex. And cell phone towers in the middle of Wyoming, in the middle of the desert, that have signals that saturate the area. So I'm in a good position. Yeah. It's down for Lord's Prayer. And your money ain't gonna get you nothing but killed. Yeah. And that's the truth, because that's all money does, is get people murdered. Accepting conflict over money instead of the Lord's Prayer is absolutely genocidal and clinical insanity. And you'll explain it to people, and they'll sit and they'll smile and they'll laugh. But it's like, well, yeah, that's really, okay. I did that with a guy in the soda oil when I was getting down to sodas, and he sat and he smiled and he laughed. And I'm like, okay, but this is a very serious matter. And it's weird. Me and Mexicanos and a lot of black folks and stuff, when we sit and we have the conversations, they go, yeah, I get you. Yeah, you're right. And a lot of the Europeans, especially older ones, they laugh. And you're like, okay, this shit ain't funny, man. You know what I mean? I'm laughing, it's like, what the fuck? But I don't understand older people when I explain that to them and they sit and they laugh and go, well, maybe I'll think about it. The fuck you mean maybe you'll think about it? You like the little Indian kids from Ricci Valley, empathy and respect. Oh, I'll think about it, but I want to be rich like my father and have servants and have sex with my maid. Okay, but what if your maid is totally disgusted by you? She'll do it. The bitch needs her money. God damn. Okay. But money's not real. Stand for the Lord's Prayer. Now, with technology the way it is, I don't think the technology has to hunt them down and kill them. I just think it needs to take these videos and make them accessible worldwide, because they're so simple and so easy to understand, and you have to be a complete psychotic, brain chemical addicted moron not to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. And I understand that there's a lot of complete psychotic, brain chemical addicted morons. I watch the nightly news, and I watch Colbert and Kimmel and Fallon. So I know they're out there. Somewhere out there, someone's a crazy hare, Okay, Brer Rabbit, Bear Fox, and Brer Bear. They're crazy. The monsters are crazy. Oh, I used to have monsters in my dreams, and I desire, despair. I have that on my MP3. I really like that song. Yeah. Oh, I'm particularly fond of Annie Lennox. I like her. She has a really good voice. I especially like the way she sings "God's Rest of You Married Gentlemen." Yeah, she's a good singer. Yeah. My favorite rhythmic song is "Here Comes the Rain Again, falling on my head like a memory, falling on my head like a new emotion." Anybody else like that song? Anybody else with good taste? I like "No More I Love Yous." Why? Jan played that one for me when things fell apart with her and Kevin Johnson, because she thought she missed, she was in the ballpark and then it screwed up. And I told her, I kept telling her to, girl, you're acting too ghetto. You're going to have to be completely in control, calm. You're going the right way with the mom, but you're going to have to, if you show any sign of ghettoese, she's going to kick you out the room. And then something happened, and she did. And she said, you were right. And I was like, you're going to have to reinvent yourself into a black-white girl if you want to get close enough to date and marry this guy. And she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She's like, just got too much hooty-hoo Philly in her, And I was like, yeah, I understand that, but her mom ain't going to go for that. His mom ain't from Philly. His mom's from Sacramento. She's a California girl, And so, you got to act white, like, you're moving with your auntie and your uncle from Bel Air. She's like Carlton and Hillary, And you got to understand that. Well, that's what she did to save her son from genocidal operations and dealing with the cops in California. She wasn't doing Kevin a disservice. She was trying to keep him safe from tribalism and ethnic profiling and shit like that. Kevin's mom was doing the best job she could as a single mother to try to keep her son alive to survive this hell. Because they will kill, Benji Wilson got killed by gangbangers, but, you can also get killed by the cops if you get in the wrong situation. And we know exactly everybody. Jalen Rose, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, they know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I got profiled as a Mexican everywhere I went. I got beat up by the fine ranchers and oil men's kids in Wyoming, and the refs laughed. Okay. Like I'm getting now poisoned by the people at Halliburton. And guess what? At Halliburton, they have black women that work at Halliburton now and at NASA. And they've cut down killing of Arab moms sucking on their tits 65% because we vaccinated them. And their brain activity is cognitively very slow, like Reverend Jim. Okay? When you set up disgusting, violent, aggressive, survivalist conditions, and then you put toxins in their bodies, or you put disease in their bodies that's dead to assimilate them to this kind of disgusting environment, you're not correcting the environment and making the environment healthy. This is Jonas Salk and Judah Krishnamurti. And Ben Brahm and Judah Krishnamurti. Houston Smith? No, Houston Smith studied religion and was a psychologist. Houston Smith was not as intelligent as Ben Brahm or Jonas Salk. I really like watching Judah talk to Salk and Brahm because they're so respectful of him, and they're so like, wow, you are so smart, and it's fun to talk to you. And I could tell Judah liked talking to them. We'd get up there, what do we want to talk about today? What do you want to talk about? I like you. You're a pragmatic person who understands what you're dealing with and want that to radically change by living better thoughts, language, and then applications of physics of these thoughts and language, right? And so Judah really liked Ben Brahm, and I think that was his name, and Jonas Salk, and I do too. I get very affectionate as I think about it. I'm getting emotional, and I'm where I'm crying. Where someone like Houston Smith, okay, he was a psychologist, and he studied people and studied their religions, and then thought he could quantify them by reading their writings and looking at their social interactions. And Judy used to explain to him, you can't do that. It's wrong. The best you can get is the conversations between Joshua Chamberlain and his first sergeant Kilrain from New York, who moved to Maine, from away, was, Colonel Darlin, A man that judges a group by the man and a man by the group, like with the Good Samaritan, is a peewit. If man's an angel, he's a killer angel. I've sat and watched black people kill me brother and kill my sister just for a spot in the sewers to sleep in New York. Right? Yeah. When Kilrain sits and tells Joshua Chamberlain, who was a little boy raised by a mom and dad that ran a philosopher college in northern Maine, and then a little Irish boy who's treated like complete shit, who was older than him and raised in New York his whole life, and when he got the means to, moved away and got to Maine to get away from New York City. And he sat and he told him, and he'd always tell him that every time Chamberlain would, okay, we got to do this, and he would use that moral values from his philosophy studies and being a philosophy professor. And Kilrain just adored that naive, beautiful, little, hopeful kid that was a man with a beard that was his colonel, but 20 to 30 years his junior. And he always referred to him as Colonel Darlin. Colonel Darlin. I hope this is helping Bono. Old Paul Hewitt there. Hope this is helping Paul and Adam and Edge. I don't know Edge's first name. I forgot it. Adam, and who's the other one? Larry Mullins. I really like Larry Mullins, yeah. I like drummer boys, man. What can I say? Come, they told me, pum pum. And he's Irish, you know, and I was raised to, I don't know if how much Irish I got in me, but I've always raised with that little chip on my shoulder that the Irish have, you know. And because I was raised with Mexicans and I was poor and I watched my friends and my family get treated like shit, and I didn't like it, and I still don't like it, and when you hit that chip on my shoulder, I'm gonna knock your teeth out if you keep doing so. Okay. Yeah, and I say that and they knock me. I know how these perverts work, and why I lost another tooth. Yeah, I did. Okay. But my mom lost 7 teeth having babies because she lived in impoverished conditions because of economic conflict from rich people. So if my mom can take it, I can take it. I'm going to show you that a woman can be tough. Yeah, there you are. You're out on the street looking good, and deep down inside you know it isn't right. But I'm see me when I cry. I don't cry at night. I'm too tough for that. I'm tired of your fucking shit, and I'm going to stand up for the Lord's Prayer no matter what you fucking narcissistic perverts keep doing, right? A woman can be tough. Yeah, a woman can be tough, and if she can show up in here and stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me everywhere, then she can show you that she can be as holy and righteous like Ruth and Esther as David and Jesus. But at this time, no. It's just another day. So sad, so sad. Sometimes she feels so sad. He comes and he stays, but she hasn't lived the Lord's Prayer, so he leaves the next day. So sad. Sometimes she feels so sad. Well, it's her deed. Like Jesus tells me, you get exactly what you deserve. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. You either stand up for the Lord's Prayer or you don't. You're either lukewarm or just outright defiant and rotting my teeth out and offering me simple set Illuminati money to have people survive fighting and fucking killing over money, or you stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me. Who's standing up for the Lord's Prayer with me? Jump back, kiss myself. Can we get busy? I want to get busy. Piano. Like a sex machine. No, I'm not a sex machine. No, I'm not like James Brown. I'm the Energizer Bunny of Love, christened by Miriam Delegro Montalvo Mercado. Well, because she's a beautiful lady, and I hope she's okay, but I don't know. Privacy is one of my main things, you know. I hope she's still with us, and I hope to see her someday and give her a big hug and say, I didn't give you the blue Mercedes, I gave your children the Lord's Prayer instead. You'll accept it and be happy. Otherwise, it's not otherwise. You'll accept it and be happy. Okay. Where's Jackie and Peter? Are they still together? I hope so. Okay, guys, I love you. Where's the path? Okay, I love you. I hope Brian and Aaron are okay. Yeah, and I'd love to meet her daughters. I hope they look just like her. All right, peace, man. Love you too.